Meet Manny Ramirez, the Dominican dynamo who tore up Major League Baseball as an outfielder for 19 memorable seasons. Known for his unmatched hitting prowess and outfield heroics, Manny blazed his own unique path through Major League Baseball. But what sets him apart? He was known for his unique rituals, signature dreadlocks, and the infamous tales of Manny being Manny that kept fans on the edge of their seats. No doubt, Manny had a unique and exceptional career, though it was entwined with suspensions and controversies. Get ready to step into the extraordinary world of Manny Ramirez, where the unexpected is just another day in the life of a baseball legend. Ramirez kicked things off at George Washington High School from '87 to '91, ditching the graduation hat at the spry age of 19. Now, pay attention, because George Washington High School wasn't just your usual ballpark scene then. It was a melting pot of immigrants, and Ramirez's squad, pure Dominican fire. He wasn't one for the limelight back then, because he preferred the shadows of modesty. Yet when he stepped up to the plate, things got interesting. 3 consecutive division championships? Check. Junior year in 1990 with a .633 batting average? Check. Then 16 awesome homers? Unbelievable. Fast forward to '91, and Ramirez wasn't just a standout. He was the New York City Public School Player of the Year, boasting a .650 average and knocking 14 homers out of the park in just 22 games. These were such dominant performances that the New York City Public School Athletic League inducted him into their Hall of Fame just 7 short years later in 1999. It was obvious that Manny was going to shatter records, and everyone wanted him, but it was the Cleveland Indians who would go on to get him. Manny's initiation to the big leagues wasn't a tape measure homer, but a ground rule double at Yankee Stadium. That day, the ball ricocheted off the warning track, vanishing into the left field seats. And while cheers erupted from friends and family who were present, Manny, in his typical style, hit the brakes mid-celebration, flashed a grin, and bounced back to second base. Now, before the Manny being Manny circus, before PEDs, trade dramas, and locker room spats, there was a young slugger who was discovered by Mickey White just across the Harlem River. White had envisioned Manny as the next Roberto Clemente, but little did he know that he would bloom into a nightmare for pitchers and a run-producing force in the Indians' lineup. In those 10 years with Cleveland, Manny's unique aura truly emerged. In this time, you just had to forget everything about the conventional, because this was when Manny truly became Manny. He was stirring up all kinds of unexpected situations, and it was so much fun to follow. At this time, this charismatic player was already borrowing bats and treating the clubhouse like a family dinner. Plus, can you imagine a player with uncashed paychecks in their locker? Well, that's a check for Manny. Trophies gifted to the team shrink? Double check. And how about wearing teammates' undies? Well, that wasn't strange to this player either. You see, when it comes to the realm of baseball oddities, Manny Ramirez was just in a league of his own. But above all, teams were scared to come up against him because Manny was a one-man army and the Boston Red Sox knew they had to have him. Manny's stint with the Boston Red Sox was a wild roller coaster, packed with jaw-dropping plays and quirky antics that defined his one-of-a-kind career. Now, let's rewind to May 14, 2008, a day etched in the Red Sox history because of Manny. It so happened that in his true Manny being Manny fashion, this star player caught a deep fly ball, took his time to high-five a thrilled fan, and then unleashed an insane throw for a double play, leaving everyone in total awe. And of course, the Boston Red Sox's Manny moments weren't just about the field heroics. They were a blend of remarkable achievements and signature quirks. For instance, you can picture July 18, 2005, when during a mound visit, he took a spontaneous break inside the Green Monster, caused a stir, but reappeared soon enough, just like a magic act. And back to the playing field, Ramirez smashed his 500th home run on May 31, 2008, sparking celebrations at Fenway. Oh, and don't forget June 2, 2001, when he got his 491-foot monster homer, which is still holding the Sky Dome record till today. Amidst the unforgettable feats, Manny's personality also lit up moments, just like in the 2007 ALDS walk-off home run, when he set the Red Sox nation into a frenzy. Plus, he often made some head-scratching moves, like when he cut off a throw from Johnny Damon for no apparent reason. Now, let's talk about being clutch, which is another aspect of his game where he truly shone. Picture this, it was Game 5 of the 2003 ALDS, when Manny stepped up and smacked a 3-run bomb off Cy Young winner Barry Zito. Boom! Just like that, the Red Sox surged ahead 4-1 in the 6th inning against the Oakland A's. Indeed, Manny's clutch heroics would seal the deal with a 4-3 victory for the Red Sox, propelling the team into the ALCS. And the fans absolutely loved him for it. But for the media, well, let's just say not so much. In the summer of 2008, the Boston Globe sports writer Dan Shaughnessy found himself in search of a headline-grabbing story. Now, if we're being honest, he could have delved into many other big stories, like Jabba Chamberlain's duel with Josh Beckett, or the eyebrow-raising umpiring, or even Mike Lowell's rare ejection from the game. But instead, he set his sights on Manny Ramirez, conjuring a theory that the slugger might be faking a knee injury to dodge the game. In his column, Shaughnessy boldly declared the Red Sox are fed up with Manny, insinuating that the alleged knee injury was Manny's subtle message to the ball club. But there's actually a funny catch here, because this writer had zero evidence to back his claims. No quotes from Red Sox management or ownership, just a theory from the reporter's own mind. But that's not even the end of Manny's bad history with the media. On July 26, 2008, the first of 6 articles leading up to the trade deadline all focused on this player. Obviously, Shaughnessy, with his influence, wielded the power to sway opinions. His articles graced front pages, spread through the Associated Press, and permeated the media landscape. Manny, even with his share of clashes against the Red Sox front office, had been tolerated due to his extraordinary talent, yet the media had found a way to morph him into a baseball monster. Sadly, the breaking point came when it all got to the player, and Manny declared, "The Red Sox don't deserve a player like me." At that point, he prioritized mental peace over everything and felt he wasn't getting it with the Red Sox. Once upon a time, Boston was Manny's haven. He lived, breathed, and loved the city, even expressing a desire to retire with the Red Sox in the 2008 preseason. Plus, his happiness and confidence had been instrumental in changing the team's attitude in 2004. But as the media narrative turned against him, Manny's love for Boston turned into a bitter farewell, leaving a once perfect fit to seek solace elsewhere. Of course, there were many moments that birthed the Manny being Manny phrase. Originally, it started when this player received his paycheck on the road, stashed it in a pair of shoes in the visitor's locker room, and promptly forgot about it. And then there are those delightful intermissions Manny treated us to and we couldn't get enough. For instance, there was that time he casually climbed into the Green Monster to place his own phone call during a bullpen call because, why not? Also, there was that time he got thirsty mid-game, but that was no problem at all for this eccentric player, because, hold your breath for this one, he decided to scale the wall for a sports drink, adding an extra touch of flair to the term hydration break. But the antics didn't stop there. Manny, in the middle of an inning, also decided it was the perfect time for a relief break, and he went for it. Oh, let's not forget the sore calf saga with Cleveland, because how can Manny be expected to play with an ouchie? And to the one that takes the cake, obviously the drug test, which Manny failed due to the presence of HCG, a common and well-known masking agent for steroids which also works for women's fertility. But hold on till you hear his explanation. He wasn't using it for any performance-related reason. So what then was he using it for? Was he trying to get pregnant? In the early days of August 2008, Manny would have a change of scenery and soon be playing in Chavez Ravine. Ramirez, the charismatic slugger, arrived in Los Angeles in a whirlwind of anticipation. Acquired from Boston in a 3-way deal for Andy LaRoche at the non-waiver trade deadline, he was the beacon of hope for a Dodgers team navigating its inaugural season under the stewardship of the legendary Joe Torre. The city embraced Manny with open arms, eager for a change in their baseball fortunes. And what a change it was. Manny truly ignited Southern California. So much so that over the final 53 games of the season, he dazzled with a .396 batting average, 17 home runs, and 63 runs batted in, propelling the Dodgers to clinch the NL West Division title in a season that proved lackluster for National League Baseball in the West. But that's not all, because as the postseason dawned, the boys in blue swept the formidable 100-win Chicago Cubs in the first round, setting the stage for a showdown in the League Championship Series against the eventual World Series champions, the Philadelphia Phillies. Of course, Manny was their star. He was their everything, but if only his secrets had remained secret. Just a brief month into the 2009 season, Manny faced the harsh reckoning of Major League Baseball's judgment. He was suspended for 50 games because he tested positive for HCG, a women's fertility drug, forbidden in the baseball world for its capacity to reignite testosterone production post-steroid cycles. So while whispers of PED revelations encircled peers like A-Rod and David Ortiz, Manny's transgressions were laid bare. No cloak of anonymity or insider rumors shielded him, and caught in the act, he had to feel the weight of the consequences. But then, it seemed like he didn't care much, because despite random testing and severe penalties, he persisted in his use of PEDs, and soon enough, the suspensions came again. In the aftermath of his suspension, Manny found himself in a realm of waiting, just like a purgatory between redemption and prolonged penance. But while he lingered in this suspended status, barred from reclaiming favor with the baseball gods through on-field exploits, the Dodgers, who were remarkably resilient, maintained their stride in his absence. So upon his return to the Dodgers lineup, Manny faced the difficult task of regaining his respect. Plus, the later half of that season saw a diminished but still formidable Manny, who was battling through nagging injuries that hinted at a narrative of steroid-aided recoveries. Surprisingly, though, fans of the game, and especially Mannywood faithfuls, welcomed their prodigal hero with open arms, choosing to overlook his transgressions under the guise of Manny being Manny. In just over 100 games, this embattled player concluded the season with a .290 batting average and 17 home runs, which in itself was a commendable contribution to the Dodgers' journey back to the NL Championship Series. But sadly, they once again succumbed to the Phillies. The relationship between Manny and the fans didn't last long either because he had to leave. In 2011, Manny signed a one-year, $2 million deal with the Tampa Bay Rays alongside his former Red Sox teammate Johnny Damon. Initially looking like a promising deal, Manny showcased his hitting prowess in spring training. However, at 38, he abruptly retired on April 8, 2011, after a lackluster start to the season where he batted .059 with 0 home runs and a single RBI. Moreover, reports would later reveal that he had tested positive for a banned performance-enhancing drug in spring training. So while facing a 100-game suspension, he chose to retire instead of continuing the appeal process. And, of course, the sudden retirement left the Rays and the league blindsided. If you thought this eccentric player's baseball journey was done, then you just have to think again, because there was one final twist when Manny signed a minor league deal with the Chicago Cubs on May 25, 2014. While there, his role extended beyond playing, seeing that he also served as a player coach for the Iowa Cubs, which was the Cubs' Class AAA affiliate in the Pacific Coast League (PCL). As you'd expect, he made a notable impact during his stint with the Iowa Cubs, hitting a 2-run home run in his first home game at Principal Park on June 30, 2014. Plus, he contributed to the development of Cubs prospects Arismendi Alcantara and Javier Baez, earning praise for his coaching influence on their swings. In fact, Baez particularly found him to be a supportive mentor during a challenging time. However, Manny's coaching and playing tenure faced a setback when he sustained a knee injury on August 23, 2014. Then, a week later, Iowa manager Marty Peavy announced that Ramirez was headed to Arizona for an MRI. And with only 4 games remaining in Iowa's season, it was revealed that Ramirez would no longer coach and play for the team. Picture this: the 2004 ALCS, Red Sox down 3-0 to the Yankees. Manny, undeterred, delivered an iconic walk-off home run, fueling the historic comeback and propelling Boston to World Series glory. Yet amidst the highs, Manny's career wasn't without controversy, notably his entanglements with performance-enhancing drugs. These challenges, however, don't overshadow the sheer brilliance that define Manny's approach to the game. Manny Ramirez's legacy in the game is his extraordinary talent, quirky charisma, and a resilience that mirrors the unpredictability of baseball itself. From Manny being Manny moments to clutch performances, he remains an unforgettable character in the grand narrative of America's pastime. Whether cheered or critiqued, Manny's impact on baseball culture is undeniable.